Maya didn't hear the door handle turn. She only heard the crash, the sharp slam as her apartment door burst open like a thunderclap. A gust of cold neo-soul winter air cut through her tiny living room, carrying the heavy steps of someone who didn't knock, didn't hesitate, didn't belong in a place as small and ordinary as hers. She froze, pregnancy test still trembling in her hand. Ryu Duhuan stepped inside with the quiet confidence of a man who owned everything he walked into. Black suit. Black gloves. Eyes too sharp to be human. And behind him, two tall men in tactical coats scanned the apartment like they expected an attack. His gaze locked onto her. Onto the stick in her hand. Onto the truth she hadn't even processed yet. Maya. His voice was deep, unhurried, and terrifyingly calm. Where is the test? She backed away instinctively, heart in her throat. How did you even find me? Why are you? Give it to me. I said, how did you find? He closed the distance in 3 slow steps, removing his gloves like he was preparing for surgery rather than a conversation. You went to a clinic this morning. My systems flagged your name. And you didn't answer my calls. I blocked you. That was unwise, he replied, calmly picking the pregnancy test from her shaking fingers. He didn't need to look at the tiny window. His jaw clenched once. You're carrying my child. Maya's body turned cold. She hadn't said the words out loud yet. She hadn't had a moment to breathe, to process, to cry. But he said it like a verdict. She tried to pull away, but Duhuan stepped in front of her, caging her between the counter and his broad chest. He wasn't touching her, but the pressure of his presence was enough to pin her in place. I don't care if you hate me right now, he said quietly, dangerously. That is my baby inside you. Her breath hitched. And I will not lose either of you. Her hands trembled. You can't just show up here and... I can. I did. And I will again if necessary. You can't order me around. I barely even know you. His eyes flashed, a storm beneath ice. You knew me enough to take me home that night. Heat flushed her face. That doesn't mean you own me. I don't own you, he murmured. But I will protect what's mine. You. And the child. She choked on air. I'm not property. You're not, he agreed softly. But you are in danger. Before she could speak, he turned to his men. Secure the perimeter. Maya tried to push past him, but he caught her wrist, not painfully, but firmly enough that she couldn't slip away. Let go, she snapped. I'm not your enemy, Maya. You broke into my home. Because someone else was planning to come here first. Her blood ran cold. What? He released her slowly. 2 rival syndicates tracked your clinic visit. They know who you are. They know what that test means to me. They think taking you will give them power. Her knees nearly gave out. I haven't even had time to think about any of this. You will, he said, softer now. At my penthouse. I'm not going anywhere with you. You don't have a choice. Watch me. She grabbed her coat off the chair, but before she could take a step, one of Duhuan's men appeared in the doorway. Boss. They're already 2 blocks away. Duhuan's expression sharpened. Who? Han Xiori's men. Maya didn't know the name, but Duhuan did. His jaw turned to stone. We're leaving, he ordered. Maya backed up until her spine hit the wall. No. No, I'm not going anywhere with a mafia boss just because I made one stupid decision. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. You didn't make a stupid decision. And I'm not punishing you for it. His eyes softened for the first time since he entered. I'm trying to save your life. She blinked rapidly, breathing uneven. I don't even know what I want. I just found out I'm pregnant, and A gunshot cracked outside. Maya screamed as the window vibrated. Duhuan yanked her against him, covering her with his body. Move, he barked to his men. The room erupted in movement, shouting, boots, the sound of weapons being drawn. He turned Maya's face toward his. Look at me. Focus on my voice. She clung to his jacket instinctively. You're safe, he promised, fierce and sure. I won't let them touch you. Another shot. Closer. Now, he commanded, grabbing her coat and wrapping it around her shoulders. We leave. Duhuan. Later. Right now you walk with me. He escorted her with one hand on her lower back, shielding her from every angle as they moved through the narrow hall. Maya's mind spun. Was this really happening? Was she really being hunted because of a baby she wasn't even sure she wanted? Another burst of gunfire outside made her stumble. Du Huan immediately steadied her. Stay with me, Maya. I'm scared, she whispered, voice trembling. I know. His tone softened, just barely. But fear keeps you alive. Hate me later. Survive first. She swallowed hard. He guided her into a black armored SUV. The moment the doors shut, the outside chaos felt muted, unreal. She pressed her hand over her stomach instinctively. Du Huan noticed. His voice dropped. I won't let anything happen to either of you. She forced herself to breathe. Why do you even care this much? It was one night. He studied her silently for a beat. Then, you have no idea what you mean to me. Not yet. The SUV shot forward. Maya stared at him, heart pounding. Du Huan, what have I gotten myself into? He turned his gaze forward, eyes darkening. My world. If you were Maya, would you believe him, or run? Tell me in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Afro-Korean mafia stories like this. The SUV sliced through Neo-Seoul's midnight traffic, escorted by 2 bikes in front and 1 black sedan behind. Maya sat rigid, her fingers knotted together so tightly her knuckles had gone white. She couldn't tear her eyes away from Du Huan. He looked like carved obsidian, still, stone-faced, unreadable, but the tension in his jaw betrayed everything he wasn't saying. She could still hear the gunshots echoing inside her skull. Where are you taking me? She finally whispered. To somewhere they cannot reach you. That's not an answer. He didn't look at her. My penthouse. I already told you, I'm not living with you. You can't just decide things for me. He turned his head slowly, eyes locking with hers. You think this is about control? Everything is about control with you. He leaned forward slightly. If I wanted control, I wouldn't waste time talking. I'm doing this because your life is in danger. You might hate me now, but you will not die because of pride or fear. Maya stared. I'm not afraid of you. That wasn't entirely true, but she needed it to be. His gaze softened, just a little. Good. Don't be. Be afraid of the people who fired at your building. Be afraid of the ones who would take you and that baby just to make me kneel. She flinched. Why? Why is this so serious? Why would they even care about a baby that isn't even? Because you carry my heir, he cut in quietly. And my enemies would destroy anything tied to me. Her breath caught. I didn't ask for any of this. I know. I didn't plan this. I know. I wasn't thinking straight that night. I know, Maya. His voice gentled in a way that startled her. Neither of us were. Silence stretched between them. Heavy. Electric. Confusing. She turned her face toward the window, blinking away tears that threatened. She wasn't going to cry in front of this man. Not when she couldn't even understand what he wanted from her, besides the baby. The baby. Her hand drifted to her stomach without thinking. Du Huan noticed. Does it hurt? She shook her head. No. I'm just overwhelmed. He nodded once. That's normal. Maya scoffed. Normal? Nothing about any of this is normal. I'm supposed to be finishing my degree. Not outrunning gunmen because of some mafia boss I barely. The SUV lurched suddenly as the driver swerved. Maya grabbed the seat. What's happening? She cried. The driver's voice came through the intercom. 2 bikes trailing us, sir. Closing in. Du Huan leaned forward. Lose them. Yes, boss. The car accelerated. Maya's pulse spiked. Oh my god, can't you just talk to these people? Negotiate? I don't want to be part of some gang war. You already are, he replied softly. The moment you carried my child, the war pulled you in. A tear escaped before she could stop it. She wiped it quickly, hoping he hadn't seen. Of course he had. Maya. Don't, she whispered. He exhaled slowly, as if restraining himself. You're strong. Stronger than you think. But you don't have to face this alone. I didn't choose to face it with you. No, he agreed. But fate did. Something in his tone sent a shiver down her spine. Not fear. Something else. Something she wasn't ready to name. The SUV took a sharp turn and the tension slowly eased. The driver reported, we lost them. Du Huan finally leaned back. Maya swallowed. Your world is insane. Yes. You're crazy. Probably. And you expect me to raise a child in this madness? His reply was immediate. No. I expect to end the madness before the child is born. She blinked at him, stunned by the certainty in his voice. You talk like you can just stop violence by snapping your fingers. I can't. But I can remove anyone who threatens you. The way he said it, cold, absolute, sent a chill through her. Not because he was threatening her, but because she believed him. You really mean that, she whispered. Yes. Du-Hwan, why me? Why does it matter so much? He studied her for a moment, and his voice dropped to something almost vulnerable. Because you were the first person who ever touched me without fear. She stilled. What? That night, he said softly. You didn't know who I was. You didn't want anything. You didn't try to impress me. You simply saw me. Her heart beat unsteadily. I didn't know you were this, she murmured. I know. He looked away, jaw tightening. If you had known, you wouldn't have let me near you. She didn't deny it. The SUV slowed as tall steel gates opened. They entered an underground parking structure with cameras in every corner. Men in suits bowed slightly as the car passed. Maya's pulse spiked again. Where are we? My home. He stepped out first, offering her his hand. She stared at it for a long moment. Her pride screamed no. But her shaking legs whispered yes. She placed her hand in his. His grip was warm, steady, grounding. He guided her through a private elevator that shot upward in silence. When the doors opened, Maya froze. The penthouse wasn't what she expected. It wasn't cold or sterile or dripping in gold. It was beautiful. Soft lighting. Warm browns and blacks. Shelves filled with Korean literature and African poetry. Sculptures reminiscent of home. A woven Yoruba tapestry framed on the wall. She gasped. You have Nigerian art here? He shrugged lightly. I bought them after that night. Why? His answer was simple but shook her. I wanted to understand the woman who changed everything. Her chest tightened. Before she could respond, the door opened and an older woman stepped out, elegant, composed, eyes kind and sharp at once. Maya, the woman said warmly. Welcome. I'm Hygiene, Du-Hwan's mother. Maya blinked in surprise. Your mother? Hygiene smiled. Yes. And I've been waiting to meet you for a long time. Du-Hwan stiffened a little. Mother. She raised a hand. Hwana, stop hovering. You're making the girl nervous. Maya let out a shaky breath. Hygiene approached her gently. You must be terrified. And overwhelmed. Come sit. You're safe here. Something inside Maya crumpled. A woman's voice, a mother's voice, felt like a lifeline she hadn't known she needed. Du-Hwan watched them, tension in his shoulders, as if protecting her even from comfort. Maya sank onto the couch, breath uneven. I don't know if I can handle this. Hygiene held her hand. One breath at a time, dear. Maya whispered, why is this happening to me? Du-Hwan answered from across the room, voice low. Because fate chose you to carry my heir. Her gaze lifted to him, full of fear and defiance and something else she refused to name. And the war for her future began in earnest. If you were Maya, would you trust Du-Hwan's protection, or push him away even if it put you in danger? Tell me in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss stories like this. Maya's mind raced. The penthouse was too quiet, too beautiful, too intentional. Every detail felt like a message she didn't know how to read. Yoruba books. African sculptures. A tapestry she recognized from her grandmother's old bedroom back home. None of this made sense. Why would a Korean mafia boss collect pieces from her culture? Du-Hwan didn't sit. He stood by the floor-to-ceiling windows, watching the city like he owned every streetlight, every shadow. His shoulders were tense, his fists repeatedly clenching and unclenching. A man prepared to kill. Hygiene gently patted Maya's knee, pulling her focus back. Let me get you tea. You look pale. I'm okay, Maya lied. No, you're not, the older woman said softly. But you will be. When she left for the kitchen, silence stretched between Maya and Du-Hwan. She didn't know what to say. He didn't look like he knew how to speak without breaking something. Finally, she exhaled shakily. Why is your mother here? She insisted on meeting you. That doesn't answer the question. He turned, his eyes unreadable. She rarely approves of anyone. But she approved of you. Even before tonight. Maya blinked. How? I showed her your file. She stiffened. You investigated me? I investigate everyone who gets close to me. But I wasn't getting close to you. It was one night. One accident. One mistake. His expression darkened. Is that what you call it? Yes, she snapped. Because everything after that has been a nightmare. He stepped forward, voice low. Do not call our child a mistake. That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean, Maya? His voice was deep, controlled, but there was something fragile beneath the surface. Say it. Maya swallowed hard. I meant. I wasn't ready for this. For you. For danger. For any of it. He stopped. For the first time since entering her apartment, he looked unsure. Hygiene returned with a warm cup of ginger tea, placing it in Maya's hands. Drink. It will help your nerves. Thank you, Maya whispered. Hygiene glanced at her son. Stop standing like a statue and sit down. You're scaring her. Du Huan reluctantly obeyed, sitting on the opposite couch. He didn't take his eyes off Maya. You're staring, she murmured. You're shaking, he replied. She looked down, and realized her fingers were trembling against the cup. Hygiene sat beside her. Maya, do you have family in Korea? No. They're all home in Lagos. And you trust them to stay calm when they hear you're pregnant? Maya flinched. I don't plan to tell them yet. Wise, Hygiene said gently. Maya sipped the tea, letting the heat anchor her. Mrs. Ryu, do you think I should trust him? Maya, Hygiene said softly, my son is many things. Ruthless. Stubborn. Dangerous. But he is not careless with people he chooses. If he has claimed you, he will protect you with his life. Protect. The word felt heavy. Maya's voice shook. I didn't ask to be claimed. I know, Hygiene whispered. That's why this is difficult. Du Huan's jaw flexed, but he said nothing. The elevator chimed unexpectedly. The penthouse door opened, and a tall, stunning woman entered in a fitted white coat, hair sleek, makeup perfect, expression sharp as glass. Han Seori. Maya didn't need an introduction. She could feel the cold hostility radiating off the woman the moment she stepped inside. Appa, Seori said smoothly, ignoring Maya completely. I heard someone attacked your building. I came to check if you were all right. Du Huan's tone went glacial. You shouldn't be here. But I was worried, she said sweetly. Hygiene exhaled sharply. Seori, this is not the time. Seori finally turned her gaze toward Maya, and her pleasant expression evaporated instantly. So, she said in Korean, voice dripping venom. This is the girl? Maya's stomach twisted. Seori's eyes traveled over Maya with thinly veiled disgust. This is who you risked the syndicate for? This foreigner? Maya straightened slightly. I can understand Korean, you know. Seori arched a brow. Then good. You heard me clearly. Du Huan's voice dropped to a deadly calm. Apologize. Seori laughed. For what? Stating the obvious? Now, he said. Her smile died. She looked at him, disbelief turning to fury. You're defending her? A girl you barely know? Maya is carrying my child. Seori froze. Hygiene sighed quietly. Maya's heart hammered in her chest. Seori turned slowly toward Maya, her expression unreadable at first, then sharp as a blade. Congratulations, she said icily. You've turned one night of irresponsibility into leverage. Maya's breath caught. Excuse me? You heard me. Seori stepped closer. Women like you think getting pregnant by a powerful man is a shortcut to security. Enough, Du Huan snapped. But Maya stepped forward herself. Women like me, she repeated, voice tight. What exactly does that mean? Seori smirked. You're temporary. A complication. And complications get removed. Du Huan was on his feet instantly, eyes murderous. Seori. She didn't flinch. Do you think the syndicate will accept her? Do you think old families will bow to a foreign woman? To her child? Hygiene stood. Seori, leave now. Seori turned and stormed out, slamming the door behind her. Silence dropped like a weight. Maya swallowed hard. Is she going to come after me? Du Huan's voice was flat. If she does, she will not live to regret it. Maya stared at him. There was no exaggeration in his tone. No empty threat. He meant every syllable. Hygiene gently touched Maya's shoulder. Don't let her words break you. Shiori has always believed she was destined to marry my son. She will need time to adjust. She threatened me, Maya whispered. She won't touch you, Du Huan said. You don't know that. I know exactly what she's capable of, he cut in. And I know how to stop her. By killing her? Maya snapped. If necessary. Maya stared at him, horrified. I don't want anyone dying because of me. He stepped closer, voice low. Then stay under my protection. She shook her head, overwhelmed. This isn't protection. This is prison. Maya. How long am I supposed to stay here? A day? A week? Months? As long as it takes. She pressed a hand over her stomach. And what if I don't want your world touching my child? He looked at her like she had stabbed him. That child, he said quietly, is already part of my world. His voice carried pain. Anger. And something she didn't understand. Maya's throat tightened. Du Huan. I don't know if I can do this. His eyes softened with a crack of vulnerability he couldn't hide. You can. And you won't do it alone. Her heartbeat trembled, torn between fear and something dangerously close to yearning. If you were Maya, would you stay in the penthouse for safety, or run before things get worse? Tell me your thoughts in the comments section. That night, Maya lay awake in a guest room that looked more luxurious than any hotel she'd ever seen. Soft lights. A heated floor. Sheets that probably cost more than a month's rent. But none of it mattered. Her heart refused to settle. Her mind replayed the gunshots, the insults, the warnings, the way Du Huan had shielded her without hesitation. And the baby. Her hand drifted to her stomach again. Everything felt unreal. A soft knock on the door made her flinch. She sat up. Who is it? It's me, Du Huan's voice murmured through the door. May I come in? Maya hesitated, then sighed. It's your house. That's not an answer. She rolled her eyes even though he couldn't see. Fine. Come in. He opened the door slowly, as if trying not to startle her. His suit jacket was gone, sleeves rolled up, tie loosened. He looked less like a mafia boss and more like a man carrying the weight of an entire city on his shoulders. She glanced away quickly. He still made her nervous. I wanted to check on you, he said quietly. Well, I'm awake. Obviously. He stepped inside, but kept a respectful distance. You haven't slept. How do you know? You're shaking. She frowned at her hands, she hadn't even noticed. Today was too much, she admitted. Yes. She glared. You could at least pretend to disagree. He almost smiled. I don't lie to you. Well, maybe you should start. No, he said softly. You deserve honesty. Even when it's harsh. Maya looked down at the blankets. I don't know how to navigate your world. I'll guide you. I don't want to depend on you. You already do. She shot him a sharp look. Don't say things like that. It sounds possessive. It is possessive. Her breath caught. He moved closer, but still didn't touch her. Maya. I'm not a politician. I don't sugarcoat. I claim what is mine, and I protect it until my last breath. Her heartbeat stumbled. But I'm not. You're carrying my child, he murmured. You're part of me now. The air thickened between them. She swallowed hard. You can't just say things like that. Why not? Because it's confusing. He exhaled slowly and sat at the edge of the bed, far enough not to overwhelm her, close enough that she could feel his presence. I confuse you? Yes, she whispered. You're terrifying and gentle at the same time. Controlling but protective. Dangerous but, she stopped. But what? She shook her head. Never mind. No, his voice lowered. Finish. She hesitated, then breathed, but you don't feel like a stranger anymore. Something flickered in his eyes, surprise, hunger, something primal. He leaned closer, voice barely above a whisper. I told you, fate chose you. She looked at him, searching his face. The hardness. The vulnerability beneath. The storm he carried with him. Maybe she shouldn't trust him. Maybe she couldn't afford not to. Du Huan, she said softly, what happened to the man who attacked my building? The one who sent those shooters? His jaw clenched. He won't trouble you again. Her stomach twisted. Did you? He didn't answer. Did you kill him? She pressed. He met her eyes slowly. If a man tries to destroy what I love, he deserves no mercy. The word love hit her like a slap. You don't love me, she whispered. He didn't deny it. He didn't confirm it. He only looked at her with eyes that burned. Dangerously. Quietly. Completely. A knock interrupted them. Boss, a guard called from outside. We found surveillance footage from Maya's apartment. You need to see this. Du-Hwan stood instantly. Stay here, he instructed Maya. She shook her head. I want to see it too. His brows furrowed. Maya. If this is about my safety, I deserve to know. He hesitated, then nodded once. They walked to his office, where multiple screens displayed security feeds. A guard rewound the footage, and Maya's breath froze in her chest. Two masked men approached her apartment door just minutes before Du-Hwan arrived. One man held a canister. Is that gasoline? She whispered. The guard nodded grimly. Yes. They were preparing to burn your building down. Her knees weakened. Burn? Why? To make it look like an accident, Du-Hwan said, voice low with fury. To eliminate evidence. To eliminate you. She covered her mouth. I could have died. He stepped closer, gripping her shoulders gently but firmly. Not while I still breathe. She looked up at him, eyes wide. You got there just in time. I will always get there in time. His certainty shook her. Who sent them? She whispered. Siori, he said. Maya's stomach dropped. But she was just threatening me earlier. Ignore her words, he said. Watch her actions. What are you going to do? Nothing. Yet. She stared at him. You're waiting? Yes. For what? For her to strike again, he said quietly. Because I don't kill my enemies for threatening me. I kill them for touching what's mine. Maya's breath caught. She wasn't prepared for how possessive he sounded. She wasn't prepared for how much of it was aimed at her. The guard cleared his throat awkwardly and stepped out. Du-Hwan turned back to her. Come. You need rest. I won't be able to sleep, she murmured. Then let me stay near. She froze. In here? In the hall, he corrected. Or on the couch in your room. Wherever you feel safe. She looked at him for a long moment. Finally she whispered, stay, in the hall. He nodded. As they walked back, Maya felt a strange comfort settle around her. A fragile one, but real. At her room door, he paused. Maya, he murmured, I know this world is hell. Then why drag me into it? He looked at her with a raw honesty that struck her heart. Because I'd rather burn with you beside me than live in a world where you don't exist. Her breath shattered. She closed the door slowly, leaning against it, hand pressed over her racing heart. Why did his words feel dangerous? Why did they feel like the truth? Why did she feel herself falling? If you were Maya, would those words comfort you, or terrify you? Comment your answer below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. Maya didn't remember falling asleep. One moment she was sitting upright in bed, staring at the door where Du-Hwan stood guard like a silent shadow. The next, sunlight was brushing the curtains, warm and soft against her face. For a moment, she forgot where she was. The room was too big, too quiet, too luxurious. Then everything rushed back, the gunshots, Siori's threat, the footage, Du-Hwan's words at her door. She sat up abruptly. The door opened almost instantly, as if he'd been waiting for her breath to change. Maya, he said, stepping inside. You're awake. Her eyes widened. Did you stand out there all night? Yes. That wasn't necessary. It was, he replied simply. You sleep safer when I'm near. She exhaled shakily. That's not comforting. I didn't intend for it to be comforting, he said. Only true. She rubbed her forehead. You're exhausting. I know. She shot him a look, but the smallest smile tugged at his lips. Then her stomach growled loudly. Heat flushed her cheeks. He pretended not to notice. Breakfast is ready. I'm not hungry. He tilted his head. You are. How would you know? You're pregnant, he said, as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. Your body needs fuel. Come. She didn't move. He stepped closer. Do you want me to carry you? No, she snapped, scrambling off the bed. I said I'm coming. His half-smile deepened. Good. She followed him into the dining area, until her steps faltered. The table was set with two separate cuisines. On one side, Korean dishes, abalone porridge, kimchi, soft eggs, fresh fruits. On the other side, Nigerian comfort food she hadn't tasted in months, akra, yam, fried plantains. The scents hit her like a hug she didn't know she needed. Her voice broke. You made all this? No. I don't cook. He paused. I instructed the chef. How did you even know what I eat? What I miss? His gaze softened. I pay attention. The room went still. She sat down slowly, overwhelmed. He watched her carefully, as if memorizing every expression she made. She forced herself to meet his eyes. You don't have to do all this. Yes, he said quietly. I do. Why? He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he looked somewhere behind her, as if searching for a memory he rarely touched. When I was young, he said slowly, I lived in a house full of enemies. People who smiled only to hide knives. His jaw tightened. No one made food for me. No one cared what I missed. He returned his gaze to her. So when I see someone I care for, lacking something, I provide it. Her breath caught. You care for me? He didn't blink. Enough to burn the world if it takes you from me. A chill ran through her, but not from fear. Eat, he murmured. She took a small bite of yam. A tear slid down her cheek. She wiped it quickly. Damn. I didn't think I'd cry over food. You're allowed, he said. As she ate, he served her more without asking, watching her like she was made of glass and fire at once. Halfway through breakfast, Maya finally found enough strength to ask, what happens now, Du-hwan? What's the plan? He leaned back slightly, expression sharpening. First, we secure your safety. Then, we neutralize Seori. Then, we prepare for the child. Neutralize, she echoed. You mean kill? No, he said after a beat. Not yet. She frowned. Why not? His jaw flexed. Because removing her now would trigger retaliation from the families that support her. I need to dismantle her power first. Maya pushed her plate away. This is too much. Too political. Too violent. I don't belong in this. He leaned forward. You do now. No, she whispered. I refuse. You don't have the luxury to refuse. His voice softened. Not while they want you dead. She looked away, eyes stinging again. He hesitated, then stood. Come with me. Where? He didn't answer. She reluctantly followed him through the penthouse until they reached a large room with tall windows, shelves filled with books, and maps pinned to the walls. It wasn't a normal office, it was a war room. A digital board lit up when he touched it, showing syndicate territories across Neo-Seoul. She stared. Is this all yours? No. But I control more than anyone else. And the others? They want what I have, he said. And what I protect. Me, she whispered. He nodded. Her throat tightened. This is insane. No, he said. This is power. She swallowed. Is this why you tracked me after that night? Because you wanted control over everything? Even me? His eyes flickered with something raw. I tracked you because I couldn't stop thinking about you. She stilled. He took a step closer. Because I looked for you in every room afterward. Expected you to appear where you weren't. Wondered your name. Wondered why one night felt like fate. Her breath trembled. You're saying all this now because of the baby. The baby is proof, he murmured, not the reason. Her heart pounded painfully. Before she could speak, his phone buzzed sharply in his pocket. He checked the screen. His face shifted instantly, from softness to cold lethality. What is it? She asked. He didn't answer. He dialed a number. Report. A voice crackled on speaker. Boss, we found something. Near Maya's old apartment. She froze. What did you find? Du-hwan's entire body went rigid. A message, the man said. Painted on the pavement. In blood. Maya's stomach lurched. What message? Du-hwan growled. She dies before the child is born. Maya gasped, hand flying to her mouth. Her knees buckled, and Du-hwan caught her before she hit the floor. He pulled her tightly into his chest, voice shaking with barely contained fury. Maya, look at me. Don't panic. Don't. She trembled violently. They want to kill me. They really want to kill me. No one is touching you, he whispered fiercely. I swear it. She clung to him, shaking. His hand slid to the back of her head, holding her close as if shielding her from the world. Du-Hwan, she whispered, tears streaming. I can't do this. I'm not strong enough. Yes, he said, tightening his hold. You are. I'm scared. I know. I'm so scared. I know, Maya. I know. She pressed her forehead against his chest, breathing hard. His heartbeat was wild, angry, protective, determined. I won't let them touch you, he murmured. Not while I'm alive. She whispered something she didn't plan to say. I don't want to die. His arms wrapped around her completely, almost possessively. Then stay next to me. Stay where I can protect you. Stay where I can see you. You can hate me. You can fight me. But you're not leaving my side. Maya closed her eyes, trembling. Because for the first time, she believed him. Maya's legs finally steadied, though her heart refused to calm. Du-Hwan didn't release her right away. He held her against him as if she were something precious that might slip through his fingers if he loosened his grip even a little. When she finally pulled back, his hands lingered on her arms as if making sure she was still real. Maya, he said softly, you're safe here. Nothing will happen to you. She wiped her face. Stop saying that. You can't promise something like that. I can, he replied. And I have every intention of keeping it. She shook her head, voice trembling. You don't understand. I wasn't built for this. I came to Korea to study, to get away from chaos. Not to get dragged into mafia wars. You didn't choose this, he said quietly. But neither did I. She frowned. What's that supposed to mean? He hesitated. When my father died, I was forced into leadership overnight. I didn't want the power. I didn't want bloodshed. But I didn't have the luxury of choosing. Just like you. She swallowed, searching his face. For the first time, she saw the weight behind his eyes. The exhaustion. The loneliness. The cost. Du-Hwan, what if I can't handle being connected to you? She whispered. His expression hardened, not in anger, but in fear. You can. But what if I can't? He stepped closer, lowering his voice. Then I will carry it for both of us. Her chest tightened painfully. He turned toward the map board. For now, we increase your security. 2 guards outside your door. No leaving the penthouse without me. What? She choked. I'm a prisoner now? No, he said calmly. You're protected. Same thing. He didn't deny it. Do I at least get to breathe without permission? She snapped. His lips twitched. Mostly. Unbelievable. He stepped closer again, gently lifting her chin. Maya. You're not here because I want control. You're here because you are being hunted. Your life matters. The child matters. I will not lose either. She swallowed, voice small. Why does it matter so much to you? His thumb brushed her jaw, far too softly for someone with blood on his hands. Because you're the first thing in years that didn't feel like a consequence. Her breath hitched. She didn't know how to respond. She didn't even know how to think. A soft chime sounded from the dining hall. Madame Hygiene appeared again, a concerned look on her face. Is everything all right? I heard raised voices. Maya forced a shaky smile. Just, overwhelmed. Hygiene approached and gently took Maya's hands. I understand. When I first married into this family, I cried every night for a week. Maya stared at her. You were scared too? Terrified. Hygiene laughed softly. But the fear fades when you learn where you stand. When you decide who you will become. Who I will become. Maya echoed. Yes. Hygiene squeezed her hands. A mother. A protector. A partner. You are stronger than you feel right now. Du-Hwan watched the exchange silently, something unreadable in his eyes. Hygiene continued, but strength grows in peace, not panic. Why don't you rest for a while? I'll have someone bring snacks later. Maya nodded weakly. She didn't want to be alone, but she also needed a moment where the ground wasn't tilting beneath her feet. As she turned to leave, Du-Hwan said, Maya. She paused. He stepped toward her, voice low. If you need anything, you call me. She nodded slowly, then walked back to her room. Hygiene followed her with a small smile before returning to the kitchen. Du-Hwan was left alone in the war room. Alone with fury. He stared at the blood-red message on the surveillance feed. His hands curled into fists. The temperature in the room felt colder, sharper. Prepare the inner circle, he commanded through his earpiece. Yes, boss. And track every move Shiori makes. I want eyes on her at all times. If she breathes near this building, we'll alert you immediately. He ended the call, jaw tight. She dies the moment she touches Maya, he muttered under his breath. I'll rip her world apart. But the door opened again, softly this time. Maya stood there, clutching the blanket around her like armor. He froze. Can I ask you something? She murmured. Anything. She stepped inside slowly, cautiously. Did you really stand by my door all night? Yes. Why? He exhaled, voice quieter than she expected. Because I didn't want you waking up alone after a day like that. Her lips parted. He didn't look away. And because if someone tried to hurt you in your sleep, he added softly, they'd have to go through me first. Her heart did that strange, uneven flutter again. I don't know how to deal with you, she whispered. He almost smiled. You're doing fine. No, I'm not. Yes. You are. He walked closer, but stopped before his presence overwhelmed her. You're scared. Angry. Confused. And still you're here. Still fighting. That's strength, Maya. She swallowed. I'm not a fighter. Yes, he murmured, you are. You just don't know your power yet. Her breath shook. Du-Hwan, do you actually want me here? Or is it just the baby? The room went still. He walked toward her slowly, deliberately, until he was close enough that she could feel his warmth, his breath, the steady heat of him. If there were no baby, he said, voice nearly a whisper, would still want you here. Her breath caught. And fate, he added, has given me a reason to keep you close. She stared at him, heart racing. What if I want to leave once the danger is over? He didn't flinch. Then I'll let you go. Her eyes widened. But, he continued in a low, steady tone, until that day, I will protect you. Even if you hate me for it. She felt something crack open inside her. Maybe fear. Maybe longing. Maybe both. The silence stretched, electric. She stepped back emotionally, forcing space between them. I need time. You'll have it. And space. He nodded. As much as you want. But you'll still watch me like a hawk, won't you? His lips curved faintly. Yes. She rolled her eyes despite the way her heart jumped. At least you're honest. I always will be. She lingered for another moment, then turned toward her room. Before closing the door, she said softly, thank you, for staying last night. His breath caught. You don't need to thank me, he murmured. It won't be the last time. She disappeared behind the door. He stood there for several seconds, inhaling slowly, grounding himself. Then he whispered into the quiet, not meant for her ears. You're already the one thing I can't lose. If you were in Maya's shoes, would his honesty make you trust him more, or fear him more? Drop your thoughts in the comments while you're watching. Maya spent most of the afternoon trying to distract herself, scrolling through her phone, staring out the penthouse window, pacing aimlessly. But nothing worked. Her mind kept circling back to the blood-red message painted on the pavement outside her old apartment. She imagined the men who wrote it. Imagined their cold hands. Their certainty. Their hatred. She pressed her palms to her eyes and whispered, I can't believe this is my life. When she finally stepped out of her room again, she found Du-Hwan exactly where she suspected he'd be, standing on the balcony alone, one hand gripping the railing, the other holding a steaming cup of coffee he wasn't drinking. The city buzzed below them, neon lights flickering, cars rushing, life moving on as if her world hadn't turned upside down. She hesitated before sliding the door open. Du-Hwan, she said softly. He turned immediately, eyes scanning her, as if checking for injuries or distress. Are you all right? She shrugged. As all right as someone with a death threat can be. He set the cup down. You don't need to go through this alone. That's exactly why I came out here. Her voice wobbled. I can't think straight. He stepped closer. Tell me what you're feeling. She looked away. Everything. I can handle everything. She breathed shakily. I'm scared. Angry. Confused. I feel trapped. I feel seen. I feel like you're suffocating me and saving me at the same time. His jaw tensed. I understand. No, you don't. Try me, he murmured. She met his gaze, her voice softening. And I feel something else too. Something I shouldn't feel. He inhaled sharply. What do you feel? She shook her head. Forget it. He stepped closer. No. Tell me. She looked up at him, heart hammering. When you held me earlier. I didn't want you to let go. He froze, eyes darkening, breath shallow. Slowly, very slowly, he lifted his hand and brushed a stray curl behind her ear. You don't have to run from that, he whispered. I should, she breathed. But you didn't. Their faces were inches apart. Maya stepped back abruptly, hands trembling. I can't think around you. You twist everything. You make danger sound like destiny. It is destiny, he said quietly. See, she snapped. There you go again. Before he could answer, the penthouse intercom buzzed sharply. Boss, a guard said, Han Seori is requesting a meeting. Maya froze. Du Wan's expression iced over instantly. Decline. She insists it's urgent. She's at the building entrance. Tell her to leave before I... Wait. Maya grabbed his arm. He turned to her slowly. No. You're not facing her again. But she came here. To your building. That means something big. Maybe we need to hear her out. No, he repeated firmly. Du Huan. He stepped closer, voice low, almost pleading. Maya. Don't ask me to put you near a woman who wants you gone. I won't risk it. She softened. I'm not asking to meet her. Just talk to her. See what she wants. You said she'd attack again. Maybe this is it. He hesitated. His silence gave her the answer. You want to confront her anyway, she whispered. His jaw clenched. I want to end this. Then go. I'll stay here. I won't move from this spot, I swear. He studied her, searching her eyes. Finally, he nodded once. Lock the door behind me. Okay. And don't open it for anyone except me. I promise. He turned to leave, but something made him pause. He looked back at her with an intensity that stole her breath. Maya, he murmured, no matter what happens downstairs, know this. He stepped close enough that she felt the heat of him. I will come back to you. Her heart twisted. Then, come back alive. His eyes softened. Always. He left the balcony. A moment later, she heard the elevator doors shut. Maya locked the penthouse door as instructed, then pressed her forehead against it. Her chest felt heavy, tight with dread. She didn't know what Seori wanted. She didn't know what Du Huan intended to do. She didn't know how deep this war went. All she knew was that her pulse wouldn't settle. She wandered to the living room, pacing. Minutes ticked by. Too many minutes. What's taking so long? She checked the elevator feed on a nearby panel. He was 2 floors down. Motionless. Facing Seori across the marble lobby. Maya turned up the audio. You came to my building, Du Wan's voice boomed through the speakers. Explain. Seori scoffed. I came because you're about to make a mistake you won't recover from. You mean choosing Maya? Yes. Seori snapped. She is a liability. A foreigner with no ties, no loyalty, no understanding of our world. This baby, if it's even yours. Don't finish that sentence, he warned. Seori's voice trembled with fury. Appa, I loved you. I supported you. I stood beside you while everyone denied you. And you throw me away for her? She did nothing to you, he said calmly. That's the problem. Seori screamed. She doesn't have to do anything. She exists and suddenly you forget me, forget the syndicate, forget everything. Du Huan exhaled slowly. Seori. Leave before I lose what little patience I have. You'll regret this, she hissed. When the families turn against you. When your enemies rise. When she dies because of you. Maya gasped at the threat. Her hands clutched her stomach. Du Huan stepped forward, voice deadly quiet. Say her death again, and you won't walk out of this building. Seori stumbled back. You're choosing her, she choked. No, he said. I chose her the moment she walked into my life. Seori let out a broken laugh. Then you die with her. She stormed out of the lobby. The elevator remained still for several seconds. Then Du Huan's voice came through the speakers, low and shaking with rage. She just declared war. Maya's heart dropped. The elevator finally started rising. Maya rushed to the door, gripping the handle, breath trembling. She wasn't afraid of Du Huan coming back. She was afraid of what he was becoming because of her. When the elevator chimed, she unlocked the door before he could speak. He stepped inside, shoulders tight, eyes dark. She threatened you, he said. Again. Maya nodded. And now I know who painted that message. Her stomach twisted. Du Huan, what are you going to do? He stepped close, brushing his thumb over her cheek like he needed to ground himself. Whatever it takes. She trembled. You can't kill her. Watch me. Du Huan. He cupped her face gently, voice breaking. Maya. She wants you dead. There is no truce here. No peace. Tears filled her eyes. I don't want anyone dying because of me. That's the difference between us, he murmured. You fear bloodshed. I was raised in it. Her breath shook. So I'm supposed to just accept it? No, he whispered, forehead touching hers. You're supposed to survive it. She closed her eyes. His voice softened even more. You're not alone, Maya. I'm right here. Why? She whispered. Why risk everything for me? Because losing you, he murmured, would destroy me more than any war. Her heart shattered. She didn't know if she was falling for him or falling into danger. Maybe both. While watching this, ask yourself, if you were Maya, would you fear his devotion, or cling to it to survive? Let your thoughts flow in the comments while you're here. Maya didn't realize she was crying until Du Huan gently wiped a tear from her cheek with the back of his knuckles. His touch was surprisingly soft for someone so wrapped in violence. Too soft. It made something dangerous stir inside her, something she tried hard to ignore. You need rest, he murmured. She shook her head. Rest? When someone literally wrote a death threat on the street? His jaw flexed. They won't get close enough to try again. But they already did, she whispered. They were feet away from my door. And now Siori is declaring war. How is that not close? His gaze hardened. Because you're here now. And here, no one touches you. Du Huan, she stepped back, shaking. You can't keep me here forever. Only until you're safe. And when will that be? What does safe even mean in your world? He was silent for a moment. Safe, he said softly, means every threat against you is gone. Forever. That could take months. Years. I know. She swallowed. I can't live in your penthouse for years. You can, he said calmly. You just don't want to. She glared at him. Stop acting like you know what I want. I do know. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. I know you want peace. You want your studies. You want normal. And I know I destroyed that. Her breath caught. He exhaled slowly. But I can't let you walk into danger just because you hate the cage. Her voice broke. I do hate it. Yes, he murmured. But you fear death more. She flinched, and he closed the distance immediately, cupping her face again. You're shaking. Of course I'm shaking. My life has turned into some kind of action movie. He almost smiled. If this were a movie, I'd be doing a terrible job protecting the heroine. She blinked. Heroine? Yes, he whispered, because you didn't run. You didn't collapse. You're still here. I'm here because I don't have a choice. No, he corrected, because you're strong enough to stay. She looked up at him, confused and overwhelmed and impossibly drawn to him. His voice dropped lower. Come with me. She crossed her arms. Where? Another room full of guns? No, he said softly. Somewhere quiet. He led her to a smaller room she hadn't seen before. When he opened the door, she gasped. It was a language room. Bookshelves lined the walls, half filled with Korean language materials, half with Yoruba dictionaries, proverbs, storybooks. A chalkboard displayed Korean characters she recognized from her online classes. Across from it, Yoruba words were written phonetically. She spun toward him. You made this? For you, he said. Her heart flipped. Why? Because I wanted to understand you. His eyes softened. And I wanted to give you something that wasn't tied to danger. She stepped inside, fingertips brushing the spine of a Yoruba poetry book. You did all this, after one night? No, he corrected gently. Before that night, I didn't know why I felt drawn to you. After the night, I understood that I needed to learn you like a language. Her breath stopped. You learned Yoruba, she whispered. A little. Say something. He stepped closer and murmured, with rough, imperfect pronunciation, "O waninu o kan me." Her knees nearly buckled. "You're in my heart." He said it like a confession. She stared at him, stunned. "Du Juan. I know it's too much," he admitted quietly. "But I don't know how to feel small when it comes to you." Her eyes filled again. "Why are you doing this?" she whispered. "Because fate rarely gives me anything beautiful," he said. "And when it did, she was carrying my child." Her lips parted, emotions crashing into each other, fear, tenderness, confusion, longing. "If it weren't for the baby," she said, voice fragile, "would you still want me here?" His breath caught. "Yes." "How do I know that's true?" He stepped closer, the air humming between them. "Because I wanted you before I knew about the baby. Because I searched for you after that night. Because I didn't forget your face, or your voice, or the way you looked at me like I wasn't a monster." Her heart twisted painfully. "You're not a monster," she whispered. He closed his eyes briefly, breathing deeply. "Say it again." "You're not a monster," she repeated. His eyes opened, dark, intense, full of something he never let the world see. "Only you make me believe that." Her pulse raced. He took her hand gently. "Let me show you how to say something in Korean." She nodded, unable to speak. He guided her hand to the chalkboard and wrote a phrase slowly. "Naega Jaikilj." She frowned. "What does that mean?" "I will protect you," he murmured. Her throat tightened. "Why does everything you say sound like a vow?" "Because it is." She looked at him, emotions swirling. "And what do I say back?" He hesitated, just a second, then wrote another phrase beside it. "Neon Hollow Ania." She read it slowly. "You are not alone." He nodded, eyes softening. "Say it to me." Her breath shook. "Du Juan." "Say it," he whispered. She swallowed hard. "Neon Hollow Ania." His entire body stilled. Something in his expression cracked, something dark and soft and deeply hidden. He reached for her cheek, fingertips barely grazing her skin. "Maya," he breathed, "don't say things like that unless you mean them." "I don't know what I mean," she admitted. "Yes, you do." His voice trembled with restraint. "You're just afraid to accept it." She took a shaky breath. "What am I supposed to accept?" "That you feel what I feel," he murmured. "Even if you don't want to." Her chest tightened, heart thudding painfully. She wanted to deny it. She wanted to push him away. But when she looked into his eyes, the words wouldn't come. He was right. Something between them was growing, pulling, shaping her decisions without her permission. "Stop looking at me like that," she whispered. "Like what?" "Like I belong to you." His jaw flexed. "You do." She trembled. "I don't." "You will." "I won't." "You already do," he murmured. Her breath caught. "You're impossible." "Yes," he said softly. "But I'm impossible for you." Before she could respond, a loud alarm started beeping in the hallway. Du Juan stiffened immediately. "Stay here." "What is it?" she whispered. He didn't answer. He rushed out the door, and Maya followed before she could think. "Du Juan, wait." His men were already running toward the elevator. "What happened?" he barked. "There's movement on the south cameras," one guard said. "Unidentified men. We think they're climbing to the lower balconies." Maya's blood ran cold. "Climbing?" Du Juan grabbed her shoulders. "Maya. Go back to the room." "No," she whispered, shaking. "Yes." His voice broke. "I won't let them see you." "But, Du Juan." He looked at her with raw fear, real fear, for the first time since she met him. "Please," he said, voice low and trembling. "Do as I say. I can't fight if I'm worrying about you." Her breath caught. He didn't beg. He commanded. But for her, he begged. Reluctantly, she nodded and stepped back. He cupped her face once more, pressing a soft kiss to her forehead, a fleeting, desperate touch, before running toward the balcony with his men. Maya stared after him, heart hammering painfully. She had no idea what waited outside. But she knew one thing for certain. Whatever was coming, it was coming for her. And he was going to war to stop it. As you're watching, ask yourself, what would you do in Maya's place, hide, or run to help him? Share your thoughts while the story continues. It helps the story reach more viewers like you. Maya's heart pounded as she backed into the language room, unable to take her eyes off the hallway where Du Juan had disappeared. She pressed a hand to her stomach, whispering, "Please, please be safe. Please don't let anything happen to him." The seconds ticked by painfully. Then, a gunshot. Maya screamed before she could stop herself. She clapped a hand over her mouth, breathing fast. The hallway filled with the shouts of guards, the slam of doors, the clattering echo of footsteps rushing toward danger. She couldn't stay in the room. She tried. But fear is stronger than rules. She slipped into the hallway, her breath catching as she inched closer to the balcony where the commotion was growing louder. She heard another gunshot, sharper, closer, and the sound of glass breaking. "Du Huan," she cried out before she could stop herself. "Maya, stay back," a guard shouted. But she didn't listen. She ran. She reached the open balcony doors, skidding to a stop. What she saw stole the air from her lungs. 3 masked men were climbing the side of the building with zip cables, boots slamming against the glass as they reached for the railings. One had already reached the balcony and lunged toward one of Du Huan's guards with a knife. Du Huan didn't hesitate. He moved like a shadow, silent, precise, lethal. He grabbed the attacker's wrist, twisted, snapped it, and shoved the man backward over the railing with a single brutal motion. The man's scream faded as he plummeted. Maya clamped a hand over her mouth. Another attacker swung onto the balcony, firing wildly. Glass shattered. Du Huan shielded his men with his body, pulling a gun from his back holster and firing 2 clean shots. The attacker jerked, then crumpled to the ground. "Maya," he shouted. "Get inside." But her legs refused to move. The third attacker climbed up at lightning speed, pulling himself over the railing with a snarl. Before Du Huan could reach him, the man swung a crowbar straight at Maya. Her scream split the air. But Du Huan was faster. He threw himself between them, catching the crowbar with his forearm. Maya heard the sickening crack. He didn't flinch. He disarmed the man with pure fury and slammed him onto the balcony floor with so much force the tiles cracked. Maya stumbled backward, gasping. Her vision blurred as 2 guards rushed in, pinning the attacker down. Du Huan turned to her immediately, breathing hard, clutching his injured arm. "Maya." His voice trembled with adrenaline. "Are you hurt?" No, I'm fine," she whispered, shaking. "But your arm. It's nothing. It's broken." He stepped forward, ignoring the pain. "Come here." She rushed into his arms before she could think. He wrapped her tightly against his chest with his uninjured arm, burying his face in her shoulder. His breathing was ragged, not from exertion, but from sheer relief. "You scared me," he whispered. Her breath caught. "I scared you? You almost died." He pulled back just enough to look at her, thumb brushing her cheek. "I'm supposed to protect you. Not the other way around. But you threw yourself in front of me." "Yes." His voice was gentle but firm. "Always." Her eyes filled. "Why?" His answer was immediate. "Because I'd rather die than watch you get hurt." She felt that. Deeply. Too deeply. One of the guards approached. "Boss, we caught the intruder alive. He's refusing to talk." Du Huan's gaze hardened. "He will talk. Boss, your arm." "Later," he snarled. "Secure the man and bring him to holding." The guard nodded and dragged the attacker away. Du Huan faced Maya again, gripping her chin gently. "Listen to me. These men weren't sent to kill you. Not today." Her blood turned cold. "What do you mean, not today?" "They were scouting," he said. "Testing defenses. Seeing how fast we'd respond." Her knees buckled. He caught her immediately. "Don't fall," he murmured. She clung to him. "Du Huan, why are they doing this? Why not just leave me alone?" "Because you matter to me," he said. "And hurting you is the quickest way to hurt me." Tears streamed down her face. "I don't want to be used against you. I won't allow it." He held her tighter. "And I will end this. Soon." She looked up at him, voice trembling. "How?" He didn't answer. Because the truth was written in his eyes. Blood. Violence. War. "You're going to kill her," Maya whispered. "Aren't you?" His jaw tightened. "If I must." Du Huan. He cupped her face with his uninjured hand. "Maya, she crossed a line today she cannot return from. No death is going to fix this," she insisted. "Yes," he said softly. "But it will prevent the next attack." She stared at him, heart aching. "Is this what my life will be? Death and danger every day?" No, he murmured. Only until I win. And you always win, she whispered. Yes. His gaze softened. Because you gave me something worth fighting for. Her tears fell harder. Stop talking like that, she whispered. It makes it harder to hate you. His lips curved faintly, painfully. Who said you have to hate me? She looked away. Everything about you is dangerous. He leaned closer, voice brushing her skin. And still, you're here. Her breathing stalled. He slowly brushed a tear from her cheek. Let me take care of you. I don't want to need you, she whispered. You already do, he said. And that's why they're coming after you. His thumb stroked her jaw. But it's also why they'll fail. Her eyes flickered to his arm. You're hurt because of me. I'm hurt because someone tried to touch what isn't theirs. She swallowed hard. I don't know how to live in this world of yours. You won't be alone, he whispered. I'll guide you. Her voice cracked. And if I want to leave after the baby is born? He inhaled sharply. Then nodded once, heartbreak flickering across his face. Then I'll let you go. Her breath caught. But, he added quietly, you'll have to stay alive long enough to make that choice. His honesty scared her. His devotion scared her more. She stepped even closer, unable to help herself. Du-Hwan, just don't die. Please. He closed his eyes momentarily, as if trying to absorb her voice. I won't. Not while you're breathing. For a moment, the world felt still. Just the two of them. Just their pounding hearts. She didn't know what this was, love, trauma, tension, desperation, but she knew it was real. And dangerous. And impossible to walk away from. While you're watching, let me know in the comments, should Maya trust him with her life now, or pull back before she falls too deep? And don't forget to like and subscribe while you reflect. Your support helps keep more stories like this coming. Night settled over the penthouse like a heavy blanket. The city lights glittered through the glass walls, but inside the room everything felt dim, tense, fragile. Maya sat on the couch, wrapped in a soft blanket, her mind replaying the attack from earlier, the gunshots, the brutal way Du-Hwan had fought for her. And the way he held her afterward. Like she was the only thing tethering him to the world. Du-Hwan returned with his arm freshly bandaged, the material stark against his dark shirt. He rolled his shoulder once, grimacing but pretending he didn't care. Maya stood instantly. You need to rest, she said. He gave a tired smile. I will. After you. No, she insisted. You almost got killed today. You're bleeding. Sit down. He blinked in surprise, then obeyed. She eased onto the couch beside him. They didn't touch, but they were close enough that she felt his warmth. Close enough to hear the slight tremor in his breathing. Are you in pain? She asked. He shook his head. Only when you're far from me. She groaned softly. Why do you always talk like that? Because it's the truth. He turned to her, eyes softer than she'd ever seen. Maya. I don't expect you to love me. Not now. Not with everything happening. But I need you to know, I'm not protecting you out of duty. I'm doing it because losing you would destroy me. Her heart clenched painfully. Du-Hwan. And today, he continued in a low voice, when that man swung at you. I saw your life flash before my eyes. I saw my world collapse. Her breath shook. She reached toward his injured arm but stopped before touching it. Does it hurt? Yes, he admitted. But the pain tells me I did what I was supposed to do. And what's that? She whispered. Shield you. Even with my body. The room blurred. Her eyes filled with tears again. He gently caught her wrist, guiding her hand to his heart. She felt his rapid heartbeat beneath her palm, wild, uneven, frantic. That's what you do to me, he murmured. She swallowed. I don't want you risking your life every day because of me. I'd risk 10,000 lives, he said. And I'd still choose you. She shook her head. You're impossible. His lips curved faintly. But I'm yours. Her breath stalled. I didn't say you were mine, she whispered. You didn't need to. Silence stretched between them, tender and hot, pulsing with something neither of them dared to name. Then Maya exhaled shakily. What happens now? Du-Hwan leaned back, expression shifting, serious, controlled, decisive. Now. I end this. Her stomach dropped. Meaning? Meaning the attack today was the final line. Siori crossed it. And there is no world in which she gets another chance to hurt you. Du-Hwan. He raised a hand. You don't have to see anything. You don't have to be part of it. That darkness is mine to carry. Not yours. But you're talking about killing her, she whispered. That's not something you just wash off your hands. I've killed before, he said softly. But never for anyone who mattered. His eyes met hers. Until now. She felt another tear fall. I don't want to be the reason you spill more blood. You're not the reason, he said. She is. She looked down, voice trembling. I don't want to hate myself. Or you. He gently turned her face toward him. You won't. They stared at each other, lost in each other's breathing, their pain, their fear, their pull. Finally, Du-hwan whispered, come with me. She blinked. Where? He stood, offering his hand. Someplace you can breathe. Her heart skipped. She took his hand. He led her to the rooftop, the one place in the penthouse untouched by violence. The wind brushed her hair as they stepped into the open night. The city stretched beneath them like an ocean of lights, quiet and vast. Maya inhaled deeply, letting the cool air soothe her nerves. Beautiful, she whispered. Yes, he murmured. You are. She elbowed him lightly. I meant the city. I didn't. A soft laugh escaped her. The first laugh she'd had all day. It surprised both of them. Maya, he said quietly, come closer. She hesitated, then stepped beside him at the edge of the railing. He wrapped an arm around her waist. Protective. Gentle. Not claiming, holding. Why does this feel so peaceful, she whispered. Because danger can't reach you up here. She leaned into him without meaning to. His warmth, his scent, the sound of his breathing, it all made her feel safer than she wanted to admit. A long silence passed. Then he spoke. Maya, when this ends, you will choose your own path. If you want freedom, you'll have it. If you want distance, I'll give it. If you want to return home, I'll make sure you're escorted safely. I won't cage you. Her throat tightened. And if I want to stay? His breath caught. Then, he whispered hoarsely, I will spend the rest of my life earning that choice. She turned to him slowly. And for the first time, there was no fear in her gaze. Only vulnerability. Only truth. I don't know what the future looks like, she whispered. But right now, I don't feel alone. Not with you. His expression broke wide open. Maya, he breathed. Say it again. I don't feel alone, she repeated softly. Not anymore. He exhaled like he'd been drowning and she'd given him air. He leaned his forehead against hers, eyes closing. Then I will protect that feeling with everything I have. She nodded. He cupped her face gently, as if asking for permission with his touch. And when she didn't pull away, he lowered his lips to hers, slowly, carefully, reverently. It wasn't a passionate kiss. It wasn't desperate. It was a promise. A vow. A beginning. When he pulled back, Maya's eyes were damp again, but for the first time, not from fear. She touched her stomach, whispering, our baby deserves a world without war. Yes, he murmured, brushing her cheek. And I will build it. How? She asked. By ending this one, he said. Without you ever having to see the darkness. She nodded, letting herself lean against him, letting her fear ease for the first time in days. He wrapped both arms around her, pulling her into his chest. You're safe, he whispered into her hair. With me, you're safe. And for the first time, she believed him. As you finish watching this story, tell me in the comments. Would you have trusted Ryu Do-hwan's protection, or run from his dangerous love? Your answers make these stories come alive. And if you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts. It helps us create more Afro-Korean Mafia stories just for you.